What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Dream World podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about manifesting in a lucid dream. Lucid dreaming and the law of attraction, they really go hand in hand. And through the power of a lucid dream experience, we can communicate with our subconscious, manifest our desires, break bad habits, and find answers we've been looking for. Creation and summoning is just immediate manifestation in a lucid dream. In real life, it's not that immediate because there's more time for your emotions to be balanced. Otherwise, every emotion that we feel would attract something, but there's more of a buffer period. Manifesting in your waking life really does get easier when you've already repeatedly experienced what it feels like to get everything you want to manifest within a lucid dream. You can make all your creations from your dream world become your waking life. You can make all your dreams come true because on both sides of the consciousness spectrum, we are completely in control of our own reality. You have a lot of manifestation practices that people know of and we practice in our waking life. And then a lot of people don't realize how you can combine that with your lucid dreams. And it can be really effective and really fun also. Especially when you're lucid dreaming, all the things feel so real, right? And you can do things that you couldn't normally do in real life. Like, let's say you want to practice, being a professional football player, or you want to work out, or you want to practice a language or some sort of skill. What's actually happening in your brain while you're consciously doing this in your lucid dreams is you're really building neural pathways in your brain of this activity, and your brain remembers that when you wake up and you actually get better at these things in real life.
Yeah, I started lucid dreaming about 6 years ago. I lost my younger sister to cancer. So we knew she was going to die. So we had that kind of bit of time where we knew it was happening. So I made her make an agreement, and we were really close our whole life, like the closest of the siblings. And I made her promise me that if there's life after death, she will come back and tell me. And the week she died, I had a lucid dream once when I was a child, but the week she died, I had a dream, and she came into the dream, and I went lucid for the first time in my adult life. Right away, knew I was in a dream realm, and wasn't worried about the lucidity part or flying or anything. Went right up to her and hugged her and told her I loved her and said goodbye or whatever. And that was in 2015, and that just created this whole passion for lucid dreaming and this wonderment of what is the dream space and can I communicate with people that have passed, in this realm. And, it took me about 6 or 7 months of like real serious practice. And I didn't have anything like podcasts. No one was really talking so much about dreams back in 2015. What is this dream space? And is it just happening in the brain, or is this a whole other space that we exist in? What is happening? What are dream characters? From my experience, dream characters exist independent of the dream of me dreaming. I've had a lot of lucid experiences where the dream characters are aware I'm a dreamer and that I'm a different entity than them. And we've had conversations about that. But yeah, it's just a little bit about me.
Thanks for sharing, Tommy, and welcome onto the episode. I think that's really awesome what you said. You can read a lot online about, our dream bubble and how we all have our own dream bubble, but sometimes that dream bubble collides with other people's dream bubbles, right? And you hear a lot of stories of shared dreaming and people that have, similar dreams or the same dream from different perspectives. And it really brings up this idea of the collective consciousness, right? And I've learned a lot of things from talking to my ancestors as well and my deceased grandparents in my dreams, things that I didn't know in real life. And I wake up and I ask my parents or I Google it or whatever. And, I find out that these things are true. Our dreams are not just our minds. It's also the collective consciousness. So when you're really tapping in and talking to other people in your dreams, or maybe talking to the deceased, it really is an essence of their soul. And that's something that I really take a lot of comfort in. So some dream characters I think are lucid and are conscious, but I think there's also some dream characters that are just our minds and just there to screw with us or get us thinking. So
I'm totally into that idea. I've been doing a lot of research in I've been doing a lot of research into the Crown and the British Royal Society and when that started. And, pretty much it all comes back to the time of the fall of Egypt, the fall of Rome, and the fall of Greece, where Christianity rose up. And then they started saying, they started calling you a heretic if you would be dreaming because you're associating with the devil or associating with spirits. And so I feel like bringing lucid dreaming to the masses and getting society dreaming again is really of great importance to human evolution and the human consciousness. Like I feel like that it's a big part of what we're missing in our life and in our society, and that we're it's our birthright, it's our psychic connection to one another. So that's really what's driving me, is I feel like we need to I need or I feel like the people need to really kind of experience this lucidity.
I agree. I think everybody should be lucid dreaming. Like I wish everybody really just understood it. It's pretty interesting to me when I meet somebody who's never had a lucid dream, and some people think that they can't, or some people, are just getting started with it. But everybody can, and this is actually just a tool, in my opinion, that we can use in our waking life to benefit our life and to benefit our mental health and our spiritual health. So I agree with you. It's something that we can all tap into, that something that we can learn to do together. And I think it's part of our evolution of our consciousness. It's part of the great awakening. We're all starting to understand what we really are and what reality really is. So thanks for sharing that.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Dream World. We are of the Dream World podcast, and what we normally want to do is to create a space where you're free to dream, where you're free to explore all the questions that you've had about the universe, our existence, and all that stuff. So we create that kind of space where you don't feel any form of judge when you're exploring all the theories that, so that is what we do. We help you explore the universe, and its mysteries and all of that. So welcome. And for those who don't know, lucid dreaming is when you are in control of your dreams, or when you are aware and you decide what stays and what goes. You create your own world, and you are a god in your small world. And you can create any situation that works out to your good, that you like. But when we talk about using, lucid dreaming to manifest, we're saying, when you use that, if you already feel like it's already happening in the lucid dream, we believe that you can convince, or you can trick your mind into believing that it is actually happening for you in real life, hence manifesting in your day-to-day life. So welcome, everyone. Take it on, Amina.
Martin, you want to introduce yourself a little bit for people before I get into the manifestation?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm a veteran dreamer. I've been dreaming for over 10 years. So I'm an astronaut. I've been on the podcast before. If you've checked that out, Zimbabwe.
Today, I just wanted to ask, I'm just dropping this question out there. For those who want, you can always put up your hand and answer it. What has been your greatest, most vivid lucid dream? Can you take us in that world? What happened for you?
This was actually after a series of dreams, or a series of false awakenings. And I woke up, and my one buddy was in my couch, and he's like across the country. So I was like, oh, I'm dreaming. And my first things to do when I'm dreaming, if I don't really pull my consciousness in and do some stabilizing techniques, is to just go fly, just run off and just play. So that's what I did at first. Some of my intentions from previous meditations when I was awake, started hitting me, and I'm like, no, I'm like, this is fun, but I'm trying to do something deeper here. I keep just waking up in my dream and just going and having fun, but I really want to find, I've had been meditating, been I really want a deeper experience. So I flew back to my house, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was walking into my back, in my back door, when I thought of it, and I just reached into my pocket and I pulled out this old flip phone, and I dialed 0 for the operator. And this lady came on the line, and she asked me, she said, how can I help you? And I said, I want to talk to my subconscious. And I heard her talk to someone off of the phone, and she said, is he allowed to do that? And then she came back on the line and was like, what do you want to ask? And I hadn't even thought that far. So the first thing I thought was, do I truly love myself? And the moment I said that, the phone disappeared from my hand, and a version of me materialized right in front of me, and the whole atmosphere changed. The air got real still, everything changed about the atmosphere. And I'm just staring into my eyes. And as I'm staring into my eyes, my face starts changing. The subconscious me face starts changing, and it starts changing into these different people. And at one point, it looks like I was looking at every person that has ever existed at once. And the moment I had that thought that I'm looking at everyone that existed, everything in the environment, including mine and my subconscious's body, kind of did an explosion thing. And then it like turned the whole thing. I was just in the middle of space looking at stars in the universe. And it was just the most mystical, it was the best experience of my life, hands down. And I took from that, you know, in order to truly love myself, I have to just be all loving and love everything to do with life and everything that's out there, including all the people. And just, yeah, that was probably my greatest experience, I would say.
Wow, that is so amazing. Oh my God, goosebumps. So, let me ask you something. When you say that what you saw in front of you was everyone that existed at once, are you talking about yourself in different realities? Is that what you saw?
I can't really explain what I saw. I, I really can't explain. I don't have the word. I can't even explain how like everything. When I was telling other people this, I say it all exploded into stars, but that's really not even, you know, proper for the experience either. It was like my face morphed into other people, not like all of the me's that I've been, unless I am everyone, you know, and I don't know that yet. But yeah, it just morphed into like, you know, including different ethnicities, different colors. Like I was looking, I can't even
like a collective consciousness, like spread
exactly.
out in different. Okay, now I get it. Oh wow, that is really amazing. You know, and earlier on, I mean, I know you're saying something along those lines of, you know, we download, you know, to the collective consciousness. Whenever we have like the same dream, it's already, you know, you're sharing the same cloud kind of thing. You know, wow. Thank you so much, Tommy. That is really amazing. You know, for me, when you hear things like lucid dreaming, these are things some people, you know, like already dismiss, they believe they don't happen. But for those who live in this world where that is a possibility, you know, the beauty of it, the beauty of creating your own world and going away to the world, you know, being by the beach, visiting these different areas. And I believe someone has really crafted or mastered lucid dream to induce it just, you know, at command. It's like you're traveling in other worlds and you get to escape, you know, actually not even escape. The more you do that, the more your real world here where we are will manifest that which you live in the dreams, you know, in lucid dreaming. So you just have to learn how to connect the two, get it from this side and then bring it into your physical. But thank you so much for sharing. That was really amazing.
You're welcome.
You know, it always reminds me, you know, one time I was having this out of body experience and I saw myself like I was in the universe, but I can't even explain it well. Like I was seeing the birth of the star till its death, like the life of a star. And then after that star, you know, it burst out and I was seeing all this stardust everywhere. It was such a magical feeling, like I was there and like I was part of everything that was happening. You know, sometimes when you're in these states, there are those tiny moments where you feel the connection of how we are all a collective consciousness deep down to the tiniest organism, you know. You feel the connection going through us. You kind of understand our purpose and how we could live, we coexist again around each other, and each has its purpose. You know, what others see as bad is actually good. And it's all this amazing, you know, profound insight. Once in a while it comes, but then of course once in a while we go back to like our normal ways and we forget such things. But lucid dreaming is really amazing. I think what I love about it, for me, most of these times what I use it for is, you know, trying out different food or traveling. In real life, I love food, not just any food. I like, you know, real nice food. Like if I'm going to visit a place like a country, I'll be more fascinated about their food culture and, you know, anything to do with food than anything else. And then I also love travel. So whenever I have a chance to lucid dream, that is one of the things that I always, you know, bring on. I create it from nothing. Like I would just be there and I start testing something or what I perceive the taste should be. For example, I've never tried seafood, you know, at all. But every single time I'm in these lucid dreams and I'm somewhere by the beach, you know, I'm eating shrimp. And to me, it tastes so good, you know. And sometimes it tastes just fishy, you know. And I perceive all these tastes. And it's beautiful because then you are living, you know, the luxurious life. You know, it's like your soul is wealthy with all of that, because when you live in this world for so long, it's beautiful. And one of the things that I was thinking yesterday, you know, we could be seeing ourselves as the real people and the dream just being the dream. But what if we are conscious, and what we think is a normal world is actually the dream. There could be that possibility, and you can't say no, the difference is between this and this. No, because when you're in the dream world, everything feels just as real as the physical. It's only when you wake up that you realize, oh, that's just a memory, or it plays out as a memory in your dream. But so is your yesterday. It plays out as a memory in your dream. So there could be a possibility that what we perceive as our real life is actually the dream. And every time we are dreaming, so we can change the way we dream to what we want, our dreams to play out like. So these are all concepts. Anyone, you can take the mic on.
Yeah, I actually have something to add. So it is like, if you think about it, so we spend an entire third of our life asleep. Like, that's a big chunk. That's no joke, right? So it's like, that's more than the majority, actually. So if we spend an entire of our life asleep, then it's obviously for something. It's obviously some sort of tool that we need to be using. And when it comes to dreaming, like, a lot of people just kind of do it mindlessly, or they don't really think about their dreams much. But there's so many things, and I'm actually writing an ultimate list of things to do in a lucid dream. So maybe you guys can add some interesting stuff to it. But basically, I broke it up into some categories, right? So you can do superpower related things, like I call it the fun stuff, like, walking through walls, telekinesis, flying, all that crazy stuff, but it gets deeper than that. You can explore your mind and your soul. Like, you can do inner child work, your shadow work, all these things, really figuring out about your soul and what your life means, ego dissolution. You can meet yourself from different point of views, all these different things. Get spiritual insight. You can summon ancestors and spirit guides, and you're like we were talking about earlier, and you can get real information that you can even just use it in your daily life. Advice, speak to angels. I know Martin has so many stories about seeing the gods and doing yoga in his dreams, and how he got spiritual insight from your dreams. And even as we were talking earlier, the dream characters in and of itself, that's an entire category, because there's so much to do with dream characters. There's so many ways they can help you in your dream. You can try to talk to them, ask them to show you things, become different dream characters, meet aliens, talk to them. There's so many crazy things that you could do. And even with creation and manifestation, which is the whole point of this meeting today, that's a whole chapter in and of itself. You can make it rain money. You can become different creatures. You can summon a jet and fly around the world. All these different things that you can do that will help you in your real life. Sometimes I just have fun and go on a shopping spree or something. There's different things like that. And then with the dreamscape, you could change the dreamscape, go to different places. You can literally visit anywhere on earth. So these experiences that you just can't have in your regular life. And like you were saying, Ashava, like the reality, what's real and what's not, like that's also relative. But everything is real because we experience our dreams. Our dreams are real. We experience real life. Real life is real. So there's a lot of things you can do, even if you just want to feel good and taste some really good food, like you were saying, like really feeling your senses, in your dreams can just bring you a long way in terms of how to feel good and just better your life.
Yeah, I think that's really insightful. I had a really interesting experience with dream characters, whereas in this lucid dream research study for the University of Heidelberg, where I became lucid after quite a long dream, where I was at a conference, and then I looked at my hand twice, and then I became lucid. And then I found dream characters, and then we spun in a circle to stabilize the dream. And then I remembered the task, which was quite complicated. I had a list of questions. So I found the dream characters and I started to question them. Some of them were unresponsive, yet others of them, they responded to the questions. And it was really amazing knowing that I was doing this incubation for the study while I was dreaming, and that the waking world was there while I was in the dream. And I got the responses, then woke up and remembered the responses, and then submitted that to the university.
Wow, that's interesting. And it's kind of like, so you feel like you were saying that there's like a waking reality and your dream at the same time within your dream, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like being aware of the waking world, being aware that somewhere around the world there's a researcher at a university who has these questions, and then I'm in the dream and I'm aware of that researcher is there somewhere. Yeah, as for manifestation, I remember manifesting a party, and it was so cool because it's all an illusion. Yet I just manifested like a party, and I opened my gate, and then there was like a full party, and it manifested out of almost nothing, and it was just awesome to manifest that.
Thank you. That was really amazing. What you shared, I think that's really awesome. When it comes to manifestation, we know that we are basically just talking about being creators. Just like we are creators in the lucid dream, we try to apply that. We try to come with that very basic knowledge or the same knowledge here in our world and try to, probably the best way I can say, lucid dream our way through life. So that means that we can create our own realities even in the physical world where we are right now, in the work world where we are right now. So by using lucid dreaming, whenever we go into our dreams, we try, rather than see the fun things jumping around, which is great, you can always try to lucid dream your life, but in a way that you want it to be. And so you'll be attracting that particular, reality into the world where you are right now. Hence, you'll be manifesting your reality and you'll be creating your reality. So lucid dreaming is great. You get to visit other places. You get to try out things that you've always wanted to try. For those of you who think about these, fantasy adventure movies, probably Lord of the Rings. I know you've done lucid dreaming where you created your own ring of the journey or something like that. So that is the beauty of lucid dream. And it opens us up, because whenever we are in that space, we're also creating to other consciousness or people in that same space, and we're always helping each other awaken. So I think that is really great. And to use that to manifest, whereby now when you go into that space, you try to see your life, how it plays out and how you'd want it to play out. Like, for example, if you're not comfortable with something in your day-to-day life, maybe your finances, you're not happy with them, you're not happy with where they are going. In the lucid dream, you can create a reality where you are happy with your finances, where you're seeing yourself getting the job that you want, where you're seeing yourself marrying the partner that you've always dreamt of and all that stuff. And you see that in your lucid dream. And what we are saying is that when you do that over time, your brain is going to be conceived that this is the reality, and the universe will manifest that into our physical world, and you will change the course of your life. So that is what we're talking about. Welcome everyone who is new. If you have a story you want to share about your lucid dreaming, you're open to do so.
Hi, thanks. Thanks for hosting this meeting. Because coincidentally, I had another lucid dream last night, and it was the first time I was able to astral project. So I thought that was the timing is very fitting because I'm pretty much a newbie to astral projecting, and it was the first time I've ever done it. Previously, when I've tried, I've sort of gotten a little nervous and I kind of stopped myself. But last night, I had a dream inside of a dream. So when I woke up from the first dream, I guess in real life, I was still dreaming, but in that dream, I became lucid, if that makes sense. So I decided, when I realized I was dreaming, I said, I want to astral project. So then I did. I left my body. And then I said, I wanted to go meet God. And then I was just stuck inside of this room that I was in. And I was trying to get out of the window because at this point I was flying and I couldn't get out of the window. And then I got very tired and kind of dizzy. And then I fell back asleep into the first dream.
Wow, that's interesting. That's happened to me a couple of times too. A dream within a dream has always really fascinated me, how there's so many layers to it. I've also had two dreams at the same time, which is a little different, but it's always interesting how you can manipulate it. And I'm actually not a pro at astral projection. I know Ashaba is. I'm more of a lucid dreamer, but I've been working on astral projection, so hopefully I'll have some stories for you guys next time.
Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to give a quick difference. For some people, they say that apparently lucid dreaming is the same as, out of body or astral projection, which is not true. Probably, maybe the way to go about it is that, different levels of consciousness. I think that would be the best way to describe it. So when it comes to lucid dreaming, it's basically like having a dream within a dream for most people, where you come to the realization that all along I'm dreaming, or you become aware that you're in fact in a dream. So that is lucid dreaming. And for some, they take it beyond that level. They become aware, but they do not only there and there, they impose their, their wants and needs into that particular dream. Like if you want to create a house, you can see a house you want. Initially, you start creating your own world, like you are a god in your own world. Now, when it comes to astral projection or outer body, that is a different thing. I do not decide what I see in the astral realm or in an outer body. Actually, it's the same, because outer body and astral projection is the same thing. It's just that astral projection is done intentionally. It's an intentional outer body. And whereas outer body, for some people, it just happens randomly. Like something happens and they're like, oh, this happened. I had an outer body kind of experience. And if you don't know about that, this term was normalized by Robert Monroe of the Robert Monroe Institute. And if you know about him, you know that he has so much backing when it comes to astral projection, I think, and remote viewing and all of that. And even created this, sound hemiside that can help you to enter that state of the astral realm and something like that. So the difference between these two is that with lucid dreaming, you're in a dream, you're aware that you're in a dream and you're controlling your own dream. Whereas in outer body, your spirit is out of your body. So your spirit can wander either to the astral realm or to the physical world, because whenever I leave my body, I'll always be within my room. Nothing much changes. It will just continue to change after time. But it's normally the same things that are already existing, and you're not really, determining what you see or what you do not see. Or that has been my experience. So that is the difference. And astral realms, you go into different astral realms. Some people visit constellations, some people visit other planets. There is so much more that you can see in that other land. And whereas in lucid dreaming, you're the one deciding what you get to see. So I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah, I agree. And also, from what I've noticed, when I'm astral projecting, I don't always have like a dream body. I'm more so like an energy in a space observing.
Also, also me, that is what happens when I have an astral projection, or when I astral project, I'm always, a viewer. Like I'm like not really a participant most of the times. Like I'm standing and viewing from the side. Sometimes it'll be like a simulation where like I'm in control and I'm seeing some things that are happening. Like I feel like, but in those days I always feel like my mind is working on its own, or my astral mind is working on its own. Because sometimes when I'm in the spirit realm, I'll be like so powerful and saying all these things that I would never say in the real world. But that always happens. And so this is why you even hear side stories of, like, for example, reincarnation. Like maybe you have backing of other guides that are around you. Maybe you are someone important in a different in a different era, and then your soul is reincarnated, and maybe now you're remembering some of that. So all these are theories, and that's the beauty of the universe, is we shall always have different theories.
Yeah, I just wanted to share like a manifestation of something. We have like quite a bad power situation in Zimbabwe with bad electricity cuts. So there was a power cut, and I just took a nap, and then I became lucid in the nap, and then I manifested electricity, and it was so cool because I was aware that outside there was no power, so I kept dreaming, and I had power in the lucid dream. Electricity, I mean.
So for your strategy when you're manifesting in your dreams, do you just kind of really visualize everything as if you want how you want it? Like you have power, you're using your computer and all that, or do you have any certain specific strategies?
Well, to manifest, sometimes opening a door helps, or having an incubated idea to manifest something before going to sleep. So the
Yes.
incubation prepares the subconscious for manifestation. Sometimes it doesn't work. When you call out to something, it doesn't appear exactly how you would like it to, because the subconscious is really powerful and it has a mind of its own, that sometimes like we can control like a ship in a way, yet we can't control the sea. In the same way, the dream has a mind of its own that controls itself.
Yeah, that's true. And I think what you said about the incubation is very powerful because it's true. Our waking life and our dream life, we have to connect them in order to get the most out of it. So you have to have a plan. It's most effective when you have a plan, when you're thinking about what you want to manifest and you're doing all of your manifestation work in real life, and then you have a plan when you get lucid, I'm going to do this. And what I noticed is it's way easier because when I first started lucid dreaming, I would just forget everything I wanted to do, or I didn't really have a plan. So the incubation really helps with becoming lucid and doing what you want planned it to do.
That is amazing. And like I agree with what you're saying, that the dream world also may have its own, mind. Because when you look at these normal daydreams, these events are already playing out. But sometimes like the subconscious has a message for us, and is displaying it through these dreams. And, like for example, someone can dream like they're in a prison, and maybe it means that, they're in a tough situation in day-to-day life. Someone could dream that their friend has died, but it's not literal. It is a message, but the subconscious is trying to communicate that. But then there are also once in a while these dreams that come through that actually do really come to pass, that really manifest. I've been having such dreams since I was younger. We used to where I come from, they call them prophetic dreams, where you see something in the dream world and then after some time that thing really plays out. But it's not always the same sometimes, because as a dreamer, you alone can interpret your own dreams because you alone understand your subconscious mind. So to some level, you understand what is happening. And when you are translating your own dreams, you remember how you felt in those dreams. There is always some messages, but whenever we wake up, we always forget what we were seeing in that world. And I'm starting to think that whenever we go to sleep and we are in a dream world, we are in that world and it is real and it is happening in that time. And this, our real world would feel like a dream when we're in that world. But when we wake up from that, then it becomes like a dream. Then now our world becomes manifest. I don't even know whether what I'm saying is making sense, but in my head, it really is making sense, and that is what happens. So I believe that even in the dream world, it also has its own, mind sometimes, because some dreams come as messages from the future or different glimpses into the future, telling us, or affirming to us what will happen so that, we are comfortable and know that it will come to happen, or helping us prevent a certain problem that could have come if we hadn't acted in a certain way. So dreaming is really an amazing thing. It's really an amazing thing, and every dreamer really has a great imaginative mind. And I believe if you feel like you can't be happy in your real working world, why not be happy in your dream world?
Hey dreamers, we'd love to suggest another great podcast for you to check out. It's the Kat Katibi podcast on health, happiness, and beauty, where she features interviews with doctors, psychologists, dietitians, healers, all sorts of experts. Kat dives deep into topics of health, wellness, PCOS, hormones, beauty, relationships, diets, all sort of fun topics. She had the leading expert in PCOS, Dr. Felice Gershon, recently to talk about female hormonal imbalances and how to balance your hormones without birth control. You can also check out her episode with Dr. Heidi on toxic relationships and narcissists. It's a really interesting topic. You can check the link in my show notes below to hear more details about her podcast.
I got another lucid dream I'd like to share, but it might take a minute to fully explain. And it's going to touch back on what you said earlier about maybe the physical realm's really the dream. So if you guys are down, I'd love some input.
Do share.
Okay. So this just was the other week. And I haven't really been lucid dreaming as much recently as I used to, but this one was a really profound one. And anyway, I started out at work and I was hanging out with two pretty ladies and I was like, all right, sweet. Great way to start a dream, hanging out with these two ladies. And these like mafioso thug looking guys come walking in after a while, and just these with this real like bad energy. And they're like, you need to go. You're not supposed to be here. So I'm like, all right. And as soon as I walk through my job's doors, I like am immediately in this room, and I'm looking around this room and I recognize it because I had gone lucid in that exact same room. And it's just some random room in a house. But I had a dream a couple of weeks ago that I went lucid in that same room. So I'm looking at the room and I'm like, no, I'm in a dream. And so I go lucid, and I'm not very keen on just telling people that I'm dreaming. I've had it just makes the dream really weird from my experience. So I don't really say that too often, but I was in this dream for like 2 or 3 hours. I ended up going to a party. I was like hanging out with the residents of the house I found myself in, and just hanging out, having a good time, flew around. And after like 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, I didn't know what to do. Started kind of getting bored a little bit. So I approached this woman who was painting a fence, and I walk up to her and I'm like, "Hey, do you know this is a dream?" And she went shh, like was shushing me, and she looked real scared for a second, and she pointed over her shoulder and she said, "Do not let those people know that you're awake." And I look over and it's those thug looking mafioso guys that are just standing a couple yards away, like looking at me intently. So I just wander back to like this group of people that I've befriended, and I approach them and I'm like, "Hey, you guys know I'm dreaming." And this group of people told me that they're not dreamers. They exist within the dream realm, and they live in this neighborhood that they cannot escape. And dreamers will come through, and if they wake up and start lucid dreaming, they will wreak havoc on the inhabitants, because they'll just start controlling them with a disregard to them, because dreamers will think that, they're just in their own mind, so they can just have full control, when in these people's reality they exist independently of the dreamer. And so they told me that the thug mafioso type looking guys actually are like a ruling class, like an upper echelon, and they're in control of these like other people that I'm talking to. And they said the rule is, whenever a dreamer comes into their space, they are supposed to follow along with whatever narrative the dreamer is telling himself, in an attempt to keep the dreamer in the sleeping state, and to refrain from the dreamer becoming lucid. And if the dreamer does become lucid, they're supposed to deny the idea that they're in a dream and do everything to convince that person to go back to sleep. And so that was insane. But I got real mad hearing about the thug guys like controlling people. So I like marched over to where they were, kicked open their door, and was like, "This isn't happening anymore." And one of my manifesting techniques that I do is I throw myself backwards towards the ground, like my back. I just throw myself back, and that's how I teleport. I'll like go through the ground and then appear somewhere else. So this thug guy starts coming at me, and he grabs me as I throw myself backwards. And there's this little portion of time when I fall through the ground where I'm in this like no zone thing. And so I ripped the guy off of me when I was in the middle of teleporting, and he like exploded into this blue light. And to me, it seemed like he was gone, like I had really like done something that like stopped his existence. And I teleported back to those people, but the thug guys released this dog with glowing blue eyes, and he came and bit me. And after he bit me, I couldn't do any of my lucid dreaming techniques. I couldn't fly, I couldn't teleport, I couldn't do anything. I was just stuck there in the dream. And yeah, basically these thug guys came after me. I lost all my abilities, and they ended up telling me that they found a stone in this neighborhood with that told them of what dreamers are, and also told them how to kill dreamers. And so they were trying to kill me when I did finally wake up. The dream was actually like several hours long, but the gist I got from it that was real insane was the dream characters telling me that they exist independently of dreamers, that they're aware of what dreamers are, and also it was almost like a purgatory, because they said they were kind of stuck in this neighborhood, this little area, which I happened to also be stuck in. When I was in that dream, I couldn't get out of these like couple types of environments. Even though I was trying to like go to a forest, I couldn't go to a forest. I couldn't go to a desert. I like to go to Saturn. I hooked up this I got this chair that's floating around the ring Saturn on this big rock that I go to in my lucid dreams and just hang out and look at Saturn. I couldn't do any of that. So yeah, that's kind of, and then what you were saying about this the physical realm kind of being the dream, that's the vibe I was getting from these characters and these thug looking guys, whoever they were, is that the people that are in control of the governments in the physical realm and the real people in real control are also present in the dream realm. And the dream realm is manifesting the physical realm. And that's why cultures don't teach dreams, because if we awaken into the dream realm, then like you were saying, we have a great capacity to manifest and manipulate the physical realm.
Wow. Thank you, Tommy. You know what? That is really great. But you know, when you're also talking about, you know, your dream, I just also got like this kind of idea, like a metaphor kind of thing, whereby when you say like in your dream, you know, it could be symbolic, you know, like also have like a greater meaning. For example, when you say that, you know, in this other world, there were these dream figures that are independent of, you know, the dreamers. It's the same as what happens to us, because when we dream, we believe that we are going into the spirit realm, and we believe that they only appear in our dreams, but this realm is already existing, you know? So it is the same there. This realm is already existing. Those, you know, people there are already independent, the entities there are already independent, but we only get to access some of them in the dream state. So it would make sense that we keep believing that these are just dreams and not real actual, you know, a real actual world happening there. Because when we realize that, then we realize that, you know what, like you said, we can manipulate anything in our real world.
Yeah, that's crazy. That story you told, Tommy, is insane. And like, if we're talking in the chat about how a lot of people report some sort of police or like thug type of figures, like protecting reality or keeping something in check. I don't know what their intentions are, but it's really interesting that a lot of people have that.
I agree. I'm totally into the idea that, you know, I don't like Western mainstream science, and I don't like a lot of the approaches, and I don't believe that, you know, it's the brain creating it. I'm very much in the belief that we are accessing other realms and there are other entities there, and that's based off of my experience. And the thug guys, my very first conscious lucid dream where I like, or my very first intentional lucid dream, after the story I told you guys earlier, and then I worked on it for months, and I finally got, you know, my first lucid dream. I remember looking around and just manipulating the environment, and I just kept looking around and like kind of controlling things, manipulating, making different forests, deserts, whatever. And I look behind my shoulder, and there is someone standing there. Well, someone's sitting on a bench, all in like all dark, and I could not control them. And I just got this super eerie sense that they were something other than me, and they were watching me. And then I woke up. But that was my first one. So I think definitely there are entities that exist.
Yeah, 100%. And like I was saying earlier, I think there's different types of dream characters. Like some of them live there, some of them are, you know, their own consciousness. Some of them are just like mindless, just there out of your own mind, you know, because our dreams are, we have our own dream bubble where we do process things from our daily life. But I think it's more than that. Like that's like you were saying about science. I agree with you. You know, science only goes so far. Science tells us about our realm, you know, so you know, I love science. It tells us about our realm, but it only goes so far. You know, there's other realms and there's people that live there, there's other souls. So agreed.
Yeah, I feel that the dead inhabits that realm quite like well. Like I often dream of the dead. I had this really cool lucid dream where I was fighting with the Gorgons, like Medusa and her sisters, Euryale and Steno. And then I saw Perseus and I became lucid. I was like, yo, this is Perseus, the hero, you know, the son of Zeus. This is a dream. And then I saw a skull in the mud. And then under the skull, I called for Athena. And then Athena manifested and appeared. And then she brought back to life my dead great aunt. And my great aunt was there, and I was speaking to my great aunt in like a dream that spun off from the first dream, where I was seeing my great aunt who had just died. So I think the dead really live and inhabit the dream world.
Yeah, so that wraps up today's episode. It's true, the dream world is a world of its own, completely separate from our minds and the physical realm. So if you like this episode and you're fascinated by this topic as much as we are, check back in for our next episodes. You can also follow us on Instagram on the Dream World Podcast. We also have a Clubhouse group, which is exclusive to iPhones. But if you need a link, you can just DM us on Instagram and we'll get you hooked up with that. Now we're going to enjoy a nice guided meditation by Ashaba. So hopefully you can find a comfortable position and you can close out on a good vibe with us.
Please find a comfortable place, find a comfortable position, get into the right position. If you have headsets, put them on. If you have headphones, put them on. I would want you to close your eyes, but if there is no possibility to close your eyes, I think it's okay, it's fine to, but the experience will be better if you could close your eyes. We are going to do a brief breathing exercise, just in and out, try and get ourselves into the right state of mind. And whenever I count, when I say breathe in, I'll expect you to breathe and then you hold your breath. When you hold your breath, I want you to count to 4 and then you exhale outside of your mouth and count to 6. I'll start for you. Inhale, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for as long as you can. And with every exhale, I want you to feel your body entering into a deep state of relaxation and letting go of all the tension in your body and all the worries of the day. So I want you to breathe in. Exhale. Feel your body entering into that deep state of relaxation. Breathe in one last time. Exhale. Feel your body relaxing, and as you exhale, feel all the stress from the day going out, and feel your body loosen and clench your jaws, loosen your neck, feel your body entering into a state of relaxation. So I'm going to count to 5, from 5 to 1, and with 1, we shall enter into a deep trance of relaxation. So 5, we breathe in. Exhale. Relax deeper. 4, breathe in. Exhale. Relax deeper. 3, we breathe in. Feel the air entering all your lungs and penetrating every inch of your body. Exhale. 2, breathe in. Hold it. Exhale. And 1, we take a very deep breath in, holding it and exhaling. So by now, if you've entered the trance, you can, feel like you're no longer where you are because of the sounds in the background. You can hear the birds, the sound is growing vivid and more real, and you can smell the freshness of the trees that are surrounding you. You're already visualizing what is happening for you. But in this moment, I want you to take a moment and think about all the things that you're grateful for, the small things, the big things. I just want you to think of them. And as these thoughts cross your mind, I want you to smile and give thanks in your heart and say, thank you, God, for blessing me with this, or to any higher purpose or any higher power, whatever you believe in. Say, thank you for blessing me with this. And as you visualize these images in your mind's eye, if you have a hard time visualizing, just call them out by their name. You can say, thank you, God, for my family. Thank you, God, for my sisters, for my friends, for the food that I had today, for my partner. For those who can visualize, see the faces of those people in your mind's eye. See your job, see your car, see your house. And as all these things flash before your eyes, I want you to smile and give gratitude. Be deeply, deeply grateful within you because of these blessings that you have. And I'll give you a minute to think about all those things. for the breath that you have, for the food that you ate, for the small things that we take for granted. We give thanks. We give thanks for the small, small things, the fact that you can walk without any help, the fact that you can eat, the fact that you are healthy and alive. We bless God for these small, small blessings. And now that we're done with that, I'm going to ask you to visualize in your mind's eye this door that's just formed up in front of you, and you know you have to go towards it. For some of you, the door is a beautiful glass, almost transparent. You can see through, you can see some sunlight coming through it. For others, it's just plain white, plain white, plain simple white. For others, it's a golden door, you know, with this heavy metal and these beautiful designs in it. And for others, it's just an open space, like a tunnel. It is okay. Whatever you see, it is fine. And as you walk towards that door, you know you have to go through it. And as you reach for the handle, you're feeling excited. Whenever your mind wanders off, it's okay. Just focus back on your breathing, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And as you walk through this door on the other end, you see a beautiful scenery, a beautiful scenery. Now, I cannot lead you here because for others, they'll see this beautiful mountain, you know, snow-capped and all that stuff and all this beautiful green. For others, they'll be somewhere by the water and surrounded by all water. And others, they'll be in the deserts, and others, they'll be in the forests, wherever you have been taken. We are here to heal ourselves, inner healing, deep healing. And as you enter through that door and you are in that land, wherever you are, you know that you are there to meet someone, and you are aware that you're going to meet that person. And as you look ahead of you, you see a figure there, and you know you have to walk towards that entity. May present itself differently for different people. It could be a woman, a man, could be a tall guy, anyone. And as you reach there, we know that we're here to heal ourselves. And as this entity touches you, it starts taking away all your pain and emotional baggage. And right now, I want you to think about anyone that has hurt you in the past, a friend that didn't come through, a partner that disappointed you, a family member that betrayed you, all those people that you've been holding onto into your heart. I want you to picture them, and as you see their image, I want you to let them know that you forgive them and you're moving on and you're letting go of that. Letting go is great for us. It is great. Sometimes we think it's beautiful for us to hold on to that pain because we want to remember how it feels when we're revenging, but that is only keeping us backwards and adding weight onto our hearts. So I want you to let go. If it means crying, it's okay, just let it go. It could be focus on one person at a time. Don't take in so much more. Focus on one person at a time, the person who wronged you. And as you see them, you can have this conversation with them if you want to, but make sure it ends in you letting them know that you forgive them, you wish them the very best, and you choose to now let go of that baggage and focus on the road ahead. And I'll give you a moment to do this. And as you do this, you feel your heart getting lighter and lighter, because as we let go of this baggage, we open our hearts up to love and to other opportunities out there. And you're still aware of the entity that is sucking all this emotional pain from you. And as it sucks it away, you have these memories and you're letting go of all this pain, and you're forgiving and you're letting go. You no longer need it. Let go of all the pain. Feel all that emotional pain and baggage going through all your bloodstreams and coursing through and going onto that entity as it's absorbing all your pain. Feel all your pain coming up. Let it go. Let it go. And now we breathe in We hold it and we exhale. And now that our hearts feel lighter and we feel that we are free and open to love again, to trust again, and we feel so refreshed and so new. Our body is all so recharged. Each and every cell of our body is repairing itself and just energizing us. You feel this surge going through your entire body, and you feel so comfortable, so at peace. All the pain that you've been having, all the stress has been sucked away from you, and you just feel this amazing level-headedness and just peaceful. And now that we feel this way, and you look at the entity in front of you, and it has some words for you, you can listen in. For some of you, it's telepathic. You just hear the message. You know that you have to say goodbye. You can always come back to this place whenever you want to in your own time. But right now, we had just come to heal ourselves. And now we are letting go and we are going back. So from 3, I'll count from 3 to 1. And with every count, we can get ready to come back. 3, we are realizing that we're here. Breathing in and out, becoming aware of our surroundings. 2, we are alertly aware of everything that is happening around us. Breathe in and out. And 1, we open our eyes. 1, we open our eyes.